Hi everyone, Dr. Beena here. Today we are discussing revision on the factors affecting enzyme velocity and Km. So the important questions came for university are: one, what are enzymes? Explain briefly the factors affecting the velocity of enzyme catalyzed reactions for 5 mark, and define Km and write the significance of Km or Michaelis-Menten constant, 3 mark question, and then define optimum pH and give examples, 2 marks question, and cymogen activation at 2 mark question. So when you are asked to write about the factors affecting enzymes, and there you have to write in details with all the graph, that is the enzyme catalyzed reaction, that is concentration of enzyme against the velocity, and then substrate concentration against velocity, temperature, pH, etc. With graph you have to explain. So we'll go to the first question. And what are enzymes? Enzymes are biocatalysts. They are proteins mainly. Majority are proteins except for ribosome, which is not a protein. And then they have got the physical and chemical properties of proteins, which are they are heat labile, then water soluble, and also they are precipitated by the protein precipitating agents, and also they got the weight, that is total weight, 16 percentage of weight of nitrogen of the protein. It is for the enzyme. Now we'll pass on to the factors. The factors we have to explain in one by one, that is effect of enzymes on velocity, effect of substrates on velocity of enzymes, and temperature, pH, and also activators, inhibitors, then about the cymogen activation, metal activators, then also regarding the light and radiation, what are the effect on it, etc., in various headings. So there one by one you have to explain, and when you are going to write about the Km is very important. Usually 3 mark or 4 mark question for you can come. Define Km, that is the substrate concentration at half maximal velocity, and you have to write in details how it is derived, that is about the E plus S enzyme plus substrate is going to form the enzyme substrate complex, then it will be converted to enzymes and products, and finally Km can be derived by equation K2 plus K3 divided by K1, and finally you have to write the equation also, that is Vmax into S divided by Km plus S, and that derivation also you can write, and then the significance of Km. And in the third question, that is optimum pH, the pH at which the maximum reaction, that is the maximum substrate is converted to products per unit time, that is the optimum pH. And in the body, usually all the enzymes are having in the pH range between 6 and 8, but there are some exception for this. Then you can see that pepsin has got a optimum pH between 1 and 2, and then acid phosphatase between 4 and 5, and the alkaline phosphatase is having an optimum pH between 9 and 10. So you can draw the graph, that is a bell-shaped graph, and show the optimum pH. You can mark the optimum pH site, that is pH on the x-axis and the velocity on the y-axis, and you can mark out the pH of the which is the optimum pH for the particular enzyme. So that will give you a 2 mark question. Then cymogen also you have studied in so many places, digestion and absorption and also. So that part also is discussed in the later slides. So you can write all these things with these headings. Okay. Now how will you write the essay? So you have to mention the factors influencing the enzyme activity, enumerate them. That is, one is the enzyme concentration, second is substrate concentration, product concentration, effective temperature, effective hydrogen ion concentration, that is pH, then presence of activators or inhibitors, and presence of repressor or de-repressor, and the effect of light or radiation. These are the various factors which influence the enzyme activity or enzyme velocity. So out of which enzyme concentration, substrate concentration, product concentration, effective temperature, hydrogen ion concentration or pH, and inhibitors are the important ones. Now we'll pass on to the effect of enzyme concentration. So the rate or the velocity of a reaction of an enzyme is the number of substrate molecules converted to product per unit time, and it is expressed as the micromoles of product formed per minute. So the rate velocity is the number of the substrate molecule converted to product per unit time. Then velocity is directly proportional to the enzyme concentration. So what is the effect of enzyme concentration on the velocity? So the rate of reaction or the velocity is directly proportional to the enzyme concentration. So whenever there is increased enzyme concentration, velocity also increase accordingly. So there is a graph. So we have to draw this graph. The graph shows enzyme concentration on x-axis and the enzyme velocity on the y-axis. So the graph is plotted against enzyme concentration, velocity against the enzyme concentration. So when enzyme concentration increase gradually, there will be increase in the velocity also. So we'll get a straight line graph. Now we'll pass on to the enzyme concentration, how it is affecting the velocity. As the concentration of the enzyme is increased, the velocity of the reaction increase proportionately, provided that the substrate present is unlimited. So there should be enough substrate. Only then the velocity will be proportional to the increase of enzyme concentration. So if the concentration of substrate is infinity, that is more enough, then the depending upon the enzyme concentration, when the enzyme concentration is increased, the velocity of the reaction also increased. This property is made use of in determining the level of enzyme in the plasma, serum or tissues in diseases. So its importance is that using this principle, we can use it for the estimating the level of the enzyme in blood, plasma or tissues to diagnose certain disease. Second one is the effect of temperature on the concentration. As the substrate concentration is increased, the velocity is also correspondingly increased in the initial phase, but the curve flattens afterwards. So if you draw a curve that is concentration of substrate on the x-axis and the velocity on the y-axis, to start with, there will be an initial rise directly proportional to the concentration of standard. Then after that it flattens. So why this happens? At lower concentration of substrate, some enzyme molecules are remaining idle. So when to start with, concentration of substrate is minimum and the enzyme concentration is there. So some of the enzyme are unbound with the substrate. So that will be available there. Then slowly if we are increasing the substrate, the more and more enzymes are bound with the substrate, and finally it reaches a point where the most of the substrate bind to the enzyme, forming the enzyme substrate complex, and no more enzymes are available, and then that condition the curve flattens. So as the substrate is increased, more and more enzyme molecules get saturated. Saturated means enzyme combine with the substrate to form the enzyme substrate complex. Further increase in substrate cannot affect the reaction velocity. That is called the maximal velocity or Vmax. So when the whole of the enzyme gets saturated with the substrate, the velocity is maximum. That is called the Vmax or maximal velocity. Vmax represents the maximum reaction rate attainable in the presence of excess substrate. So there may be substrate present in the medium, but all the enzyme molecules are bind to the substrate, and the ES complex is formed and the product is forming. So that is the maximal velocity. Further increase in substrate cannot make an effect on the reaction velocity, and the rate of reaction remains constant. So after Vmax, the rate of reaction will be constant. At half maximal velocity, that is 50% of the enzymes are attached with the substrate. It is called the half Vmax. So at 50% when get saturated with the enzyme, that velocity is called the half maximal velocity. So in this diagram you can see that is velocity against the substrate concentration. So here you can see the substrate concentration in the x-axis and the velocity rate of reaction in the y-axis. So to start with, there is a straight line graph. As the substrate concentration increasing, the velocity also increasing, and slowly it is coming into a flattened level and attain the C. At the position of C, the maximum velocity is obtained. That means the whole of the enzyme molecules get saturated with the substrate. Here after that, if you are adding more and more substrate, there is no use because all the enzymes are saturated and formed a enzyme substrate complex. So then the half maximal velocity, 50% of the molecules get saturated, and that is called the half Vmax. Here 50% of the molecules of substrate are get saturated. So in this diagram also you can see, to start with, so many enzyme molecules are there to bind with the substrate. Substrates are shown as the polygon red dots, and the other is the blue circles are the enzyme molecules. So at B position, almost half of the enzyme molecules got saturated with the substrate, and when it goes to the C, the whole of the enzyme molecules get saturated with the substrate, and you can see excess of the substrate molecules which are not able to bind with any other enzyme in the D position. So the curve flattens, and this is Vmax, and this area is the half Vmax. So this part you have to mention when you are asked to write about the effect of substrate concentration on the enzyme velocity. That is the second question, that is 3-mark question. You have to write these two graphs and explain what is the action of increasing substrate on the enzyme velocity. So there again you have to mention about the Michaelis-Menten equation. Michaelis-Menten equation describes how reaction velocity varies with the substrate concentration. That is the importance of Michaelis-Menten equation. So here the V0 is Vmax into substrate, that is Km plus S divided by Km plus S. So here V0 is the initial velocity, Vmax is the maximum velocity, Km is the Michaelis-Menten constant, and S is the substrate concentration. So initial velocity is the Vmax into S divided by Km plus S. So that is the Michaelis-Menten equation. So you have to write this when you are asked to write about the effect of substrate concentration on the velocity. Now, what is Michaelis-Menten equation? Sometimes they may ask separately 3-mark question as the Michaelis-Menten equation or Km. Km is also very common question. So definition of Km. Km value is the substrate concentration at half maximal velocity in an enzyme catalyzed reaction. So in an enzyme catalyzed reaction, Km means that is the substrate concentration at the half maximum. We have seen the half Vmax, Vmax, that is the half maximal velocity. At that position, what is the concentration of substrate? That you have to find, with that we can find out. So that is the Km. Km expressed in moles per liter. The unit of expression of Km is moles per liter. Km denotes that 50% of the enzyme molecules are bound with the substrate molecules at that particular substrate concentration. So what are the importance of salient features of Km? Km value is the substrate concentration expressed in moles per liter at half maximal velocity. So it denotes that 50% of the enzyme molecules are bound with the substrate molecules at that particular concentration that we have already explained in the previous slide. Km is independent of an enzyme concentration. If enzyme concentration is double, the Vmax will be double, but the Km will remain exactly the same. So there is no change for the Km, but there will be increase of Vmax if the concentration of enzyme molecules are increased. In other words, irrespective of enzyme concentration, 50% molecules are bound with the substrate at that particular substrate concentration. So irrespective of the enzyme concentration, if the enzyme concentration is doubled or not, 50% molecules are bound with the substrate at that particular concentration. Km is the signature of the enzyme. You know what is the importance of a signature for a human? That is, each individual can be identified by this signature, isn't it? It's a unique for any person. So similarly, for the enzyme, Km is the signature of the enzyme. Each enzyme has got a Km separately. Km value is thus constant for an enzyme. It is the characteristic feature of a particular enzyme for a specific substrate. That is also important. For a specific substrate, there will be a specific Km for each enzyme. So we can identify the enzyme by seeing the Km. So Km denotes the affinity of the enzyme for the substrate. That is another importance. That is, the lesser the numerical value of Km, the affinity of the enzyme for the substrate is more. So whenever there is low Km, the affinity of the enzyme for the substrate is more. Whenever there is low Km, then the affinity of the substrate is less. High Km, low affinity; low Km, high affinity. So in this picture, you can see that here the first graph is plotted with an enzyme 1 unit, and the second graph is plotted while using the enzyme with 2 units, double the quantity. So here you can see the Vmax is changed. First enzyme unit, the Vmax is here, but if the enzyme is doubled, then the Vmax is attained, 200% attained in this level. But Km, that is 50% of the molecules, concentration of substrate at 50% of velocity, that is same for both. That is for the enzyme 2 and the enzyme 1. That is the normal enzyme and the enzyme concentration which has doubled the enzyme. So for both, the Km or the Michaelis-Menten constant, Km is independent of the enzyme concentration. So if the concentration of enzyme is increased, there is no change in the Km. If the enzyme concentration is doubled, the Vmax will be doubled, but the Km will remains the same. Now we'll pass on to the effect of pH on the velocity of the enzyme. Each enzyme has an optimum pH. What do you mean by optimum pH? The pH at which the maximum reaction occurs, or the velocity is the maximum. So on both sides of the pH of velocity will be greatly reduced. So to start with, also velocity is reduced, and now after attaining the pH slowly, the velocity will be decreasing. The graph shows a bell-shaped curve. So if you are plotting the pH against the velocity, then again the bell-shaped curve you can get. The pH decides the charge on the amino acids residues at the active site of the and on the substrate. So pH depends on the charge of amino acid residues on the active site of the enzyme, as well as the charge on the substrate. Charge means this ionization. Some ions will be there in the amino acid in the active site or also on the substrate. So that is important for the binding of the substrate to the enzyme and produces catalytic activity. So pH decides the charge of amino acid residues in the active site of the enzyme as well as on the substrate. So here in this diagram graph, you can see the effect of pH of the enzyme activity. pH on the enzyme activity. The pH is in the x-axis and the enzyme velocity on the y-axis. So bell-shaped curve with the optimum pH at the center. On both sides, the velocity will be decreasing. The net charge on the enzyme protein would influence the substrate binding and the catalytic activity. That is why pH is have an effect on the enzyme activity. Thus, gain or loss of charge or groups will affect the substrate binding. If there is gain or loss, that will affect the substrate binding and producing ES complex and finally the product. The optimum pH may vary depending upon the temperature, concentration of the substrate and the presence of ions, etc. So the optimum pH of the various enzymes depends upon the temperature of the environment or concentration of the substrate, presence of anions in the medium. All this will influence the optimum pH. Usually the enzyme has, some enzyme is having a optimum pH between 6 and 8, that is in the normal human being. Some important exceptions are also there. Pepsin with optimum pH between 1 and 2, alkaline phosphatase optimum pH between 9 and 10, and the acid phosphatase between 4 and 5. So in this graph again you can see the various enzymes having various pH. So pepsin between 1 and 2, optimum mainly at 1.2 or 2. Then the second enzyme is amylase. Amylase between 6 and 6.7 to 7. That is the optimum pH of this amylase. Then arginase, usually it is around 10. 10 is the optimum pH of the arginase. Now we'll pass on to the effect of temperature. The velocity of the enzyme reaction increases when the temperature of the medium is increased. Usually, to start with, as the temperature increases, the velocity of the enzymatic reaction also increases. But it reaches to a maximum and then falls. Just like the previous pH, the bell-shaped curve is produced. The temperature at which the maximum amount of substrate is converted to product per unit time is called the optimum temperature. So what is an optimum temperature? It is the temperature at which the maximum amount of substrate is converted to product. So here you can see the optimum temperature range, that is here 32, between 30 and 40, that is 37 usually body temperature. That temperature maximum action of the enzyme will be occurring. So how the temperature affects the enzyme velocity. As the temperature is increased, more and more molecules get activation of energy, and the collision frequency of reacting molecules also increases. So the reaction velocity is increases. So we have to overcome the energy barrier by increasing the activation energy. So that is the mechanism of enzyme action. So here, while increasing the temperature, these molecules get activation energy so that they can overcome the barrier of energy, and then the collision frequency of the reactive molecules also increases when the temperature is increased. So the velocity naturally increases. But when the temperature is more than 50 degrees centigrade, what happens? Denaturation and loss of structure of the proteins occurs. Proteins will denature when the temperature is raised. So all the enzymes are protein also. So naturally, above 50 degrees centigrades, the denaturation of these protein enzymes occurs, and the activity also will be decreasing. Human enzymes have an optimum temperature around 37. Certain bacteria in volcanic hot springs will have an optimum temperature near 100 degrees centigrade. Plant enzyme urease have an optimum activity around 60. That is the two separate optimum temperature. Now, effect of concentration of product. Accumulation of the products decreases the enzyme activity. How it is happening? For certain enzymes, the product combine with the active site of the enzyme and forms a loose complex. So whenever there is ES formation, then next step is the product formation. So these product may sometimes again forms the combines with the active site of the enzyme and forms a loose complex. So these complex inhibit the enzyme activity. That is how the product feedback inhibition usually occurs. So the inhibition is prevented by quick removal of the products. Usually in the metabolic pathway, once a product is formed, it has got another route, or it will go to another reaction, so that the product is removed immediately from the medium. So there won't be any feedback inhibitions. Sometimes there will be feedback inhibition. When product concentration is increased, the reaction is slowed, stopped, or even reversed. So usually when there is excess production, it is accumulating in the media. What happens is the reaction is slow, becoming slowed. Later on it will stop the reaction, and sometimes reversal occurs. That is the thing happening in the product accumulation. So in this, we can see how it is happening. In inborn errors of metabolism, one enzyme of a metabolic pathway may be blocked. You have studied so many examples, galactosemia, some enzyme is deficient. So what happens is the previous metabolite will accumulate and produces the symptoms. Here you can see E3 is absent. E3 is the enzyme catalyzing C to D and it is absent. So what happens is the C will accumulate. In turn, C will inhibit the enzyme E2. So what happens? The whole pathway is blocked. So there will be problem during in this case. Now the enzyme activation. There are mainly two methods by which enzyme activation occurs, by metallic ions and zymogen activation. Examples of zymogen activation are the digestive enzymes and the coagulation factors. Digestive enzymes are so many years might have studied during the digestion and absorption of proteins. Trypsinogen is converted to trypsin, chymotrypsinogen to chymotrypsin. Otherwise, what happens is these are proteolytic enzymes that will act in at the production site itself and destroy our cells. Similarly, the coagulation also, only when required, the coagulation factors get activated. So that will activate the enzymes. Zymogen action, you know what is it is splitting of the peptide bond, trypsinogen to trypsin, chymotrypsinogen to chymotrypsin. All the gastrointestinal enzymes are secreted as proenzymes and only after secretion to the alimentary canal they are activated. Similarly, lysosomal enzymes of macrophages are also in the proenzyme form and activated when the membrane broken, which are and so that which prevent the tissue lysis. Now, effect of activators. Some enzymes require certain inorganic metallic cations like magnesium, manganese, zinc, etc. for their optimal activity. So, these are metallic activators, cations like magnesium, manganese, zinc, etc. In the presence of these inorganic ions, some enzymes show higher activity. So, if these ions are present in the medium, then enzyme activity will be higher. Rarely, anions are also needed for the enzymatic activity. Example, chloride ion, which is an anion for activation of amylase. And similarly, calcium ions activate lipases. Now, effect of time. What is the effect of time on the enzyme velocity? Under ideal and optimal conditions like pH and temperature, that is, if the pH and the temperature is optimum for an enzyme, in these conditions, the time required for the enzyme for the reaction is less. So, if the pH and the temperature are optimum for an enzymatic reaction, then the time required for the reaction to take place is less. Variation in the time of the reactions are generally related to the alteration. If there is any alteration in the pH, temperature, activators, etc., there will be variation in the time of the reaction also. Sometimes reaction will take long time. If there is alteration in the pH, temperature, and presence of absence of activators like that. So that is the effect of time on the enzyme velocity. Now, effect of light and radiation. The exposure of enzyme to ultraviolet rays, beta rays, gamma rays, and X-rays inactivates certain enzymes due to formation of peroxides. So you might have studied certain X-rays and gamma rays and beta ultraviolet rays has got a lethal effect on the cell and producing peroxides. Peroxides are dangerous. So by doing this peroxide formation, they will have an effect on the enzyme also. Enzyme activity will be lost. Example, ultraviolet rays inhibit the salivary amylase activity. Salivary amylase is present in the mouth, isn't it, for the digestion and absorption of carbohydrate. So you might have noticed in cancer patients getting radiation. Suppose it is in the mouth, they are getting radiation, then they will have a salivation and difficulty in swallowing, etc. due to the destruction of the salivary gland, and salivary amylase will be leaking. Okay, so this is all about the various factors influencing enzyme velocity or enzyme catalyzed reaction. So if it comes for 10, you have to explain in little details with examples and all, and you have to draw the graph, that is straight line graph and the flattened graph, then the bell shaped graph, etc. If it is coming for 5 mark, you have to cut short little, but still if you draw the graph, it will be more explanatory. Okay, then substrate concentration, that main thing is the significance of Km you have to mention, and also that graph where the first increasing, then flatten, and finally we have to mention that there is no change in the Km if the concentration of the enzyme is double. That graph also you can draw. So that finishes our revision of factors influencing enzyme velocity. Thank you.